Alrighty.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. This is the first Twice as Odd podcast.
Yes, indeed.
Do I sound good? Do you sound good?
Well, you sound good. In my opinion, I sound like trash.
You sound
The
just fine.
audio's great if you're asking that.
Yes. I'm gonna be doing a breathing treatment during this.
What now?
I'm going to be doing a
No, I heard
breathing
you. I'm
treatment.
making fun of you.
Okay. So, I guess start us off. This is gonna be first podcast, just testing it out, seeing what we need to do, what we don't need to do. You start us off. Let me see if
All
I
right.
can mute myself. I don't want people to hear me. Whatever. This is gonna get loud.
All right. So, this channel of ours, Twice as Odd, I think has a total of 3 videos. One of them being, I think, my favorite thus far, if you can call it a favorite. It's not really anything. The Wind Got Revenge, which is absolutely hilarious. It was a very windy day, and we were trying out a YouTube channel. And I think the original plan for it was we were just going to do whatever, and then we had a dedicated thing we are going to do, which was called Idiots Try Judo. We were going to create a playlist and just film us doing different judo things. And I guess that was that
That was
video.
that was, that was the plan before good old Rona hit.
Yeah, Rona, and then a bunch of other factors like you moving 4 hours away from me.
Yeah. So we came up with a podcast. A good idea to do a podcast.
Intermittent content. Maybe you know, I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Just do something.
I'll be up there eventually. We'll
Yeah,
get
for
something.
what's it, the hot wings thing?
Yeah. See, I don't know about that one. My mom said that she doesn't have money to just go up there and get a room,
Oh,
and
I,
she can't travel that far. So
if need be, I could, save some money for gas, drive all the way up there, bring you up here. You can stay the night or the weekend or whatever, and
you
that'll.
sure you want to do that?
Hey, you know what? Yes, if it means I get to throw you and watch your tongue burn, yes, absolutely.
Speaking of which, both of these things that I'm about to say are in common with what you just said. I tried to habanero. One tear came out of my eye. It was not great. Um, and I started sparring with someone who's really good at boxing. So
Really?
I'm getting back into sparring, and
Nice,
I'm
nice.
really excited.
Now, this begs the question: did you take anything from what I taught you?
Yes. In fact, I was trying to teach him stuff, and he goes, "That's really cool." And he goes, "We can't do it here because there's a whole bunch of stickers." And I said, "Just wait until I get mats." I found a website where I can get 5 feet by 10 foot of mat for $200.
Okay, well, if you do end up getting those, you're gonna have to tie them in the back of my truck because that's something we need. I'm tired of using baby mats. I'm pretty sure you are too.
Yeah.
We'll tell a story. It's a podcast. That's what we do. All right, so baby mats. We're originally starting to try this judo slash wrestling, basically just martial arts in general, grappling and throwing. But we don't have mats, and the grass outside is not soft at all. It's basically concrete at this point, um, which is awesome. So I'm like, you know what? I need to buy mats. Mats are expensive. Let me go to Walmart. Maybe they have some mats or something there. So I go to Walmart. They don't have mats, and my mom's like, go to the baby section, and I'm like, oh, I already see what you're going here, and so I do, and they have 2 things left to baby mats, and I think in total it equals 12 square feet. Not big, but big enough where if you position yourself right, you could throw someone, and you can most definitely wrestle on the mat. Um, Surprisingly, those mats work very well. They're very cushiony for being so thin and cheap.
There was a huge difference between landing on the ground and landing on the mat.
Yeah.
Even though they were $30. There was a major difference.
It wasn't even 30. It was like 12.
That's even better. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So now explain who you are and what you do.
What I do? Oh, I do
Yeah.
a lot of things. You sure about that, pal?
Yeah. My breathing treatment by then.
Okay. All right. So my name is Ethan. Still in high school. Not about to graduate, so that's great. What I do, I really don't have a job. Um, I mean, I kind of do, but I don't get paid for it, and it's not like an actual contract. It's more of a obligation that I have, and that is student athletic training. Oh boy, let me tell you about that. Doing it for 3 years, I love it. Sometimes I hate it, but I mostly love it, especially because baseball season's about to be around the corner and football's ending. Thank God. I've been doing it 3 years. It's very hard work, surprisingly. Hard work being tolerating the players, a lot more physical labor than you would imagine, because you have to bring out coolers and heavy equipment that we use for taping, or these giant carts that have a bunch of medical supplies. All kinds of just weird stuff. So that's the gist. I don't know, the summary of that. Let's just say that. I'm not good with words, as you can tell.
That's the gist of
Gist.
that.
I don't even know how to spell that, to be honest. I thought
GIST.
that was it, but I'm like, that's stupid. Why would it be spelled that way? And so I spelled it joust, and I'm like,
Because it's the English language, man. Come on.
I ain't good at that English stuff. Yeah. So that's the job, quote unquote, that I do. Other things that I do, I have a technician's license for radio, so I'm a ham radio operator. I got that, I think, June of this year, so 6 months ago, and I've been trying to install a 10-meter radio antenna for my house, with the HOA being HOA is like, no, we're not going to let you do that. But wait, no, it has to be aesthetic. And in my head, I'm like, I don't care about aesthetics, because no matter what you do to this antenna, it's still going to look like a piece of redneck PVC garbage, because that's what it is. It's just PVC with an antenna slapped in the middle of it, because that's all you need for an antenna. And I've already spent somewhere around $400 working on radios, because radio is a very expensive hobby. I think I paid $300 for an antenna alone that worked kind of, but because Melissa's just horrible for radios. You got all kinds of elevation, hills, all kinds of just weird things blocking radio waves. The Melissa repeater, if you don't know what a repeater is, I guess I'll explain it here because I have nothing else to do. It's basically a giant tower that takes your signal and boosts it, but on a different frequency, and you don't have to worry about the frequency that's on, because it's an offset. That's kind of complicated to explain. So I would just say it boosts your signal farther, and it's very tall. Actually, I think that's the tallest antenna I've seen of that caliber, because it's a 70-centimeter tower. And I'm talking about like centimeters and meters. I don't mean like how tall it is in the height. When I say 70 centimeters or 10 meters, it's referring to how long the wavelength intervals are, because radio are weird, and people decided to say, hey, we're going to measure radio waves and call them 10-meter because it's confusing, and we love confusing new people, which is why I didn't get into it for 3 years. I've been trying to, but it's just too darn complicated. So anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the antenna here sucks. They don't keep good care of it, and there's actually been a complaint about the very top of it. You're supposed to have a red light so aircraft doesn't, just ram into that thing, and the owner did not do that, so there's been a complaint. And when it does work, I can only hear a city away, not even in the city I'm in. So yeah, that's Melissa for you. Anyway, so yes, ham radio operator. What else do I do? Oh yes, martial arts. I've been doing martial arts on and off. I think I quit 10 years ago. Wait, no. I'd say 8 years ago. I did Taekwondo and did it for 2 years. Got my first degree black belt. That was pretty cool. I didn't really take.
What was this man third in? What were you third in?
Oh, national sparring. That's.
Which was probably illegal,
Yeah,
but we're not going to talk about that. You were third.
I was pretty good at sparring. I still am. You can ask Braden here.
Yeah, he split my forehead open. We don't talk about that. Don't spar with glasses. Lesson learned.
Don't. Yes, take off your glasses before you spar, or when you're punching a punching bag. But that's two different stories for two different times. So anyway, oh yes,
Yes, sir.
I don't know. It's been a long time. So anyway, before I was, I wouldn't say rudely interrupted, but interrupted nonetheless. I did that for 2 years. Yes, first year blah blah blah. Then I quit because me being the dumb kid I was like, oh, this is boring. I did baseball, which was not the best idea, but it was a pretty good idea because I ended up loving baseball a lot longer than I did taekwondo. And funny enough, I was never an infielder. 3 years I did it, I never got infield, but I was always an outfielder, a catcher, or a pitcher. Do you know how hard it is to switch, like, every inning from being a pitcher to an outfielder? It's
No, because I do not play
yeah,
baseball.
it's not easy. Let's just say that. And I never got infield, and that was the weirdest thing. I didn't really care for it, so I quit. My mom's like, "Well, you're not gonna sit around the house all day long. You do that enough, so pick a sport." And I was like, "Huh." And I ended up picking up roller derby because my mom did that, and it was just easier scheduling. And I love roller derby because it's a heavy contact sport, but on skates. Yeah, I think I've been doing this for 5 years now, and because of Corona, it's been like a half a year, probably more, since I've been able to do it because it's a contact sport, so there's high risk in that. Yeah, I love the sport. It's great. It's a really not well-known sport. We've been trying to get into an Olympic sport for the longest time. We've almost succeeded a few places, but there's been some bureaucratic or just some kind of issue where it's like, yeah, well, we'll get to that later, and then they never get to it. So I don't know. And then what I'm doing now is I'm doing martial arts again. I'm doing this thing called Kombito, which is the program through the church. And at first, it was only $20 for a month, and I was like, okay, this is gonna suck. And I got there, and the first thing I see 6-year-olds doing jujitsu, and I'm like, oh, I guess it does not suck. I want in. And then I actually tested recently, and there's a cool thing they do, which I love, besides the cheapness of it and all the martial arts that they do. I'm gonna go on a side tangent here real quick. Kombito means the way of combination, so it's like mixed martial arts, but more traditionally. So like they take the tradition of taekwondo or karate, the gis, the forms, and all that stuff, the belt ranking system. They take that, but they implement like all kinds of martial arts. And Kombito was actually derived from Amka Jutsu, which was developed by some Japanese dude, of course, and a Vietnam War veteran. Cool. And it combined, I think, judo, jiu-jitsu, aikido, boxing, Muay Thai, and Jeet Kune Do. I think those are the main ones, and they've picked up a couple things here and there. Um, I wouldn't say they do sambo, but they're looking into it. They're trying to learn some sambo. So really cool. So that tangent's over. What was I going on? Oh yes. Braid, remind me. I forgot what I was going on before that.
Kombito, you were going on and on and on about
Yeah,
Kombito.
but I was like, I said I went on a tangent, and then what was the thing that was going on before that tangent?
I have no
I'll
clue.
probably remember it here. Um,
You said something you enjoyed about it other than the cheapness
oh yes,
of it.
I really enjoyed the just how many things that you could learn here. Because I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those boring, traditional form crap, which I didn't really care for. I don't like forms. I hate forms. I can fight, and I can do takedowns, and I can punch, and I can do all this perfectly fine, but I can't do forms. I don't know why. My brain's just like, what? And then my body is like, what? And then everyone's like, Ethan, what are you doing? That's not the right stance. You're a fool. And I'm like, yes, I know. Don't tell me. I already know this, but not my fault. Kind of is, but never mind. So I really like it, and only for $20 a month. That's not bad. That's really good.
really isn't, and I'm kind of upset that I
Yeah,
wasn't able to join.
I tried to get Braden here to join, and he wanted to join real bad, especially after I told him that they did jiu-jitsu and judo, which we both love with a passion, or at least I do. I don't know about him. He was always injured every time I would do judo. Somehow, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, I'm ready to go full force. I'm ready to get back into sparring. I did the boxing a couple weeks ago, and I was a whole lot better than what he thought because of you. And let's just say I surprised him a couple times.
Yeah. I don't teach bull. I teach things that I've learned through experience. Really all martial arts is it's finding what works, what doesn't. And I mean, I could go on, but about what everybody else does in martial arts says, or I messed that sentence up. I can say what every other martial artist says. Certain things don't work in other circumstances. Like if you pair someone who does jiu-jitsu and judo, jiu-jitsu is probably going to win because their goal isn't to throw you, it's to get you on the ground and put you in a hold or a choke or yada yada. Where judo is they grapple, but not as much, because if you look at the history of jiu-jitsu and judo, it came from, I think, and don't quote me on this because I'm probably not 100% correct or even 50% correct. I read Wikipedia. That's all I'm going to say. And it came from a thing called jujutsu, which was like an ancient samurai martial arts that was basically judo and jujutsu slammed together. It's basically what it was. And then somewhere along the line, they were separated into the ground form, or the bottom part, and then the top part. The bottom being the wrestling, the jujitsu part of it. Top part being like the throwing part of judo or judo. My brain's just dying over here.
Look, all right. So for those of you who don't understand, I was in the hospital this morning.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I have asthma, and my lungs just decided to quit on me this morning and didn't want to fix itself. So I was in the hospital this morning, so I'm not doing great, which is why I sound sick. Good news is that I'm negative for COVID and negative for flu. So
speaking of flu, I've been reading this book called The Great Influenza, and it's about the influenza epidemic of 1918. Holy moly! You think COVID's bad? Please. The influenza pandemic of 1918 was the worst pandemic worldwide to this day because of how.
Isn't that like also the swine flu or the Spanish
flu
or whatever?
And actually, they don't. People think it didn't actually originate from like Spain, or it wasn't actually Spanish. It came from like some tiny little county in Kansas. So, and you have to keep in mind, this is also during the Great War. So, there's a bunch of different factors that were perfect for this, this influenza, which was a very deadly. Because if you don't know a lot about influenza is one of the deadliest, or like I guess innovative viruses, because it mutates a lot and it's very receptive and it's really good at hiding from the immune system at first, which is why.
We have literally spent 20 minutes talking about all this. Let's stray onto a different.
I didn't even get to finish the martial arts thing. I just started the influenza thing. And you're like, let's change topics. Cool. All right, Braden, you talk for a little bit. How about that?
Well, that's what you want to do. All right. So, my name is Braden. If you see me in person, you'll understand that I play video games and I'm asthmatic. Because of quarantine, I picked up guitar as a hobby. Turns out I'm really good at it. So I'm now in a band called Gods of Sparta.
Thanks for telling me about that. No, you did. I said thanks.
I didn't tell you about that?
No, what happened was I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, this. Oh, by the way, I was in the hospital, and bam, don't worry about it. Anyway, and I'm like, whoa, slow down. First of all, band. What do you mean band? He's like, oh, I'm in this band. And I'm like, okay, hospital? I'm sorry, what'd you just say? You're like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah. So we're in this band, and the sport that I play on my own, other than sparring, which I'm trying to get back into, I play disc golf. I'm fairly good at that, and I picked up basketball recently.
You did not tell me
It's
about
a
the
good
basketball.
workout. So
Disc golfing I already knew because I've been disc golfing with you, and my goal is just to yeet plastic as hard as I can, not really to win. So
yeah, no, I picked up. Someone invited me to play basketball, and I was like, "This is the first time I've ever picked up a basketball and then beat all of them."
you seem to do that a lot, apparently.
It's pretty great. I felt really good.
No, you seem to like you pick up
What do you
something and
mean?
then you're automatically, oh, I'm a god at this, and you beat everybody else. I don't know how that happens. Me, I'm like, wait, hold on, can you slow down? How do I throw the ball?
I
Okay,
can't play piano, so
well, I can't
that's where
play
you
it
get me.
either. I just know how to what keys make what noise. Okay, I can't read the music.
But yeah, no, today was, even though I ended up in the hospital, today was a good day. We got out at 12, grabbed lunch. I got a new guitar. Um, sounds absolutely
Go
gorgeous, and
pick
I
it
love
up.
it. So,
Oh,
it's electric,
boo.
but however, I do have an acoustic. I traded my baby concert style and bought
Are
an
you still learning
actual
to play
acoustic.
Soul Clef, or did you give up on that?
Oh, I haven't even bothered. Life has been busy recently. Um, I bought a skateboard. Almost ate dirt. Anyone want a $200 skateboard? It's custom built. I've literally been on it like twice. Haven't been on it since. So, you know, I'm sure I'll put in the link to my Instagram
The social.
and Facebook. So let's see. I'm pulling out the acoustic right now. I've learned a whole bunch of songs since I left, like all the way through.
The Nito, I haven't
So-
learned darn thing. Actually, never mind. I learned half of For Elise, which I have to pick up again. That's about it, really.
So I learned "Wish You Were Here" by Pink Floyd.
Play Freebird. I know.
I don't know Freebird. I learned the chords to
I don't
Stairway
think
to
I know
Heaven,
that
though.
song. But Chance does, though. Chance does.
Do you know Tennessee Whiskey? You don't listen to
Yeah,
country.
I don't.
Never mind.
The only country I listen to
Um,
is like bluegrass and Jamie and Commons, but that's about it. Speaking
This
of
is Hurt
Johnny
by Johnny
Cash,
Cash.
did Chance ever tell you about his fifth cousin? He didn't tell you? It's Johnny
No.
Cash.
No.
Yeah, his cousin is Johnny Cash. Well, his fifth
Wow.
cousin, but still, technically his cousin.
I know 2 songs by CCR. I know. Give me a moment. What? Oh, I think he just said hi. Never mind. I know. Have you ever seen the rain?
It's vaguely familiar, but not all that much.
And then I know Bad Moon Rising. One of the easiest but most difficult. Like in the beginning, most difficult.
So you gotten better at strumming then?
Yes, I started. For those of you who don't know, I started guitar in April. It was a quarantine hobby. Um, I can play the Last of Us theme, the
Hold
first
on.
one,
Yeah.
at least the beginning.
Whoa, whoa. So does that mean you can play
Like I
that
said, I
one
can only play
part
the
from
beginning.
that Rammstein song I sent you that you try to use to impress Caitlin?
I never used
With the
that song
strumming
to
now?
impress her, but yes, I can play it. No, I can't do the strumming. I haven't bothered yet. That's my
It's a good
alarm, by the way.
song.
That's how much I love that song.
Rammstein's a great band.
It's my alarm.
What else do you do,
Let's
Braden? Tell
see.
them about your photographer thing you do, or your audio, whatever.
Um, yes, I was in audio video, which is why I wanted to start a YouTube channel in the first place. Um, was because I was pretty good at it. Um, I used to film the football games and the football practices, and that's actually Ethan
You
and I
met in
were
Spanish, I
pretty good
think.
friends my freshman years.
Wait,
And
tell
then,
them what you thought of me at the very
yeah, we
beginning. It was
had
pretty
Spanish
funny.
together. Oh my god, I hated him. I thought he was so up himself and like the worst person to be around.
Thanks.
But no, he's a great guy and he's very caring. We're best friends and we're like what
Yeah.
200 miles apart. We still talk a lot. But no, the beginning of my sophomore year and his junior year, I went to go film the football game, and they didn't have the equipment, and so I was like, "That's great." And Ethan was like, "I have an idea. What if you join me on athletic training?" I was like, "You know what? That kind of sounds fun. Why don't I do that?" So I did it, and spent the entire sophomore year doing it, and it was the greatest time of my life. And I'm no longer doing it, but I'm still interested in the medical field. Next year, I should be
Oh,
able to
big
do
money.
an EMT
Yeah, you get your
technician
EMT basic.
class.
You can I
Yeah,
wouldn't say work on an ambulance, but you can do AMR or something like that.
So that's very fun. Let's see, what else am I doing now? They don't have audio video
I
at
mean,
the
even at
school, so
Melissa,
I'm in
were
the
you like the only
yearbook.
kid in audio video?
Um, my sophomore year, everyone from my so I was in audio video 1, and then everyone from my freshman year decided that audio video was not for them. So it went from 10 people to literally only me. I got shoved in a class of audio video 1, and then I had an 8th period class of audio video 2 lab, which was just me by myself. But I got to do special projects. I filmed a tutorial for 3rd graders. I was in the middle of working for a Partners in PE and PALS project before COVID shut down. And we were going to make a film and enter it into the competition. And then COVID shut down. And then I was in the middle of editing our Idiots Do Judo video when I got
You got really
sick
sick.
just before that spring break.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad. And I don't get sick. And then I went 6 years before that without throwing up.
Yeah.
Oh, I was upset.
So, is there anything?
But yeah, no. Well, let's see. Now that we have explained ourselves, what we do, what we enjoy, now let's combine the two. So obviously, you've heard Ethan and I talk about athletic training, judo, jiu-jitsu, aikido, whatever we did when we used to do martial arts and spar. Let's start with the name. All right, Twice as Odd. Kind of sounds weird, but my gamer tag that I've been using for years now, it's an inside joke, is Measure Twice. It's probably exactly what you're thinking, but it's not in the way that you're thinking it. It was literally just a joke, and my brother and I laughed at it for hours. And then I said, oh, "What if I made this my PlayStation name?" And he called me a genius. And so that's been my name for literally everything for the past couple of years. Well, Ethan on his Xbox, his gamer tag for the Xbox Live, I think, is Odd Acorn. So I guess you can immediately see where we pulled the names. The name was Twice the Odds or Twice as Odd. And I put a poll up, let people voted, and it was a landslide. It was 61%. I thought it was going to be closer. 60% of the people voted for Twice as Odd. So that's where we get our name from, is Measure Twice and Odd Acorn. So that's where our name derives from.
I can create the
Still
banner,
trying to create a logo.
The logos make your deal.
We can't do TAO because that's an actual cow. That's an actual thing. So we can't do TAO, but we can probably do a large T, and then we can. Do you know the anarchy symbol?
Yeah.
We can do that with a line going through the middle of the A to create the T.
Or we could use one of my various skulls. I draw a lot of skulls. I love drawing.
I don't think the skulls would be a good idea. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
It's a good idea.
I don't know, because we're not trying to be intimidating.
Judo,
this is literally just gonna be us goofing around. There's a creek. There's a creek that we plan on exploring. We've already explored, but we plan on showing it to you guys.
My concern, our cache was raided. 100% it was raided. Everything is gone. Daisy Hill no longer is Daisy Hill because there's no Daisy there. It got stolen. The toolbox, gone.
So we found a whole bunch of stuff, and we named. Let's say we
Yeah.
had
Sticks.
the Gateway. Then it was Alpha. It was Alpha. Then the Valley. And the
Big
River
Bertha.
Styx was the creek going through. And then it was
Oh, that's right.
no Big Bertha is all the way down. Then it was the
Oh,
Pit.
Castle was
The
awesome. I
Pit
love
and
Castle.
Castle. Castle, Foxtrot,
Daisy Hill, right?
and then Daisy, and then it was what did we name the other bridge? It was something because the river Styx was supposed to be like
called it.
it was supposed to be hell.
Tartarus. There you go.
Tartarus. All right, so that was then there was Tartarus, and then just on one side
God, it was
of
literally
Tartarus there was Vietnam.
The largest
nothing
amount
but
of bamboo I've seen in one place. It was so imagine like the woodlands,
in Texas,
like a good old
oh my god,
Parkers of Woods. We'll replace all the trees with bamboo, really thick bamboo, and that is what we're talking about. It's literally Vietnam. Yeah,
like really healthy bamboo too. Like it wasn't yellow until up to at the
I can
top.
confirm or
pretty
deny
green and
that we may have taken
was gorgeous.
that bamboo for a project, but a lot of our stuff gets getting stolen by some kid.
Yeah, and then it got stolen. So
kids probably. Oh, Big Bertha is really hard to get to.
And then there's Big Bertha a little bit. So Big Bertha is the biggest pile of not pile of rocks, but imagine concrete.
Yeah, and it was in the middle.
It was literally
of nowhere,
like a patio, but it was
this really disgusting swamp. You have to either wade through the swamp, like teetle toddle on the edge, or cut your way through all the bush and vines and there's a lot of thorns in Texas. Yeah, if you didn't know that. Thorns love Texas. So, yeah, when we went out there, we usually have tools or gear with us because that's what you take with you to get through it. And it took a long time to get to these places too. So we always bring water or snacks. Were you there when we found the lagoon by the train track? You weren't there?
Nah.
No, so it was on the train tracks, and on the left side there was like a rock outcropping, and then below it was like a tiny little pond. You don't remember that? I think I was with Chance and Isaac.
No.
Remember when Chance took us to that one place? He found Sylvester. Poor Sylvester.
Yeah. So Sylvester was we went in this abandoned house. Highly unrecommend.
We found
it is not
there.
legal. It's not safe. All right. We decided to open this door, or the door was open. We decided to close it, and behind it we found a dead cat. I wasn't wearing my gloves. Stupid me. Nothing happened, but it's just stupid. So I gave my gloves to Chance, and he picks up the skull and keeps it. And he cleans it and then left it in the back of Ethan's truck.
I have a pickup truck, and there's a little shells you can put back there with little outcroppings. So we shoved him one in there, and not even a door, so he could just fly out if he wanted to. And so there was a thing we did for a short time is whenever I hit a bump, we would say, "Sorry, Sylvester," because Sylvester was back there. And then my dad saw, he's like, "Ethan, get that crap out of your truck. You look like a weirdo enough." Yeah, I think Chance still has Sylvester up in his room somewhere. Last time I checked.
Yeah,
on a shelf. Chance is a character.
So what we'll do
Yeah.
is we'll eventually get guests
Isaac.
of honor.
Maybe we're bringing Isaac on.
So Chance.
Who else? As long as he behaves
Is that a
and he's
good
on his
idea?
masks. Okay, well,
It's Isaac. For those of you who don't know, we
yeah, he's really
we
cool,
all disliked
but he's got a lot of
Isaac
problems.
until we hung out with him. His only issue is he's got
And he also has a bunch of
ADHD
mental
out the
disorders,
wazoo, which
like
Ethan does as
depression.
well, but he's not so bad. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my
he has mental
God.
disorders, so it's hard to keep him focused. And the point of all of these podcasts, except for this one, is to get organized, tell a story,
Oh,
let you guys
stories. I
hear
got a lot
what
of
we
stories,
gotta
man.
say.
If you don't know
You
me,
know, all the good
if
stuff.
you speak about
All the good
something, I probably have a story about it. So,
Game and
no,
save.
I don't have a story for that one. Unfortunately. Huh?
Women.
Oh, let me tell you about women. Did I tell you about my ex-girlfriend?
Women.
So, Amalia's.
Yeah, see, so
Yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
I think it's fair enough to say it on the podcast. We were all chilling at lunch, and Amalia is in
Hoorah.
Ethan's derby team, the North Texas Fallout. And I've seen them play. They're actually not bad. Honestly, they're really good. But
And I walk up.
one day we were eating lunch. Chance and I were just talking. And Ethan walks up, sets his back down next to Chance. Of course, I've never seen Amalia at this point. So he looks at Chance in the eyes and he goes, "So you know Amalia is pissed, right?" And we busted laughing. Like, busted.
You don't?
Because, like, how do you respond to that? There's not like, oh no, I definitely don't. Or there's no, oh yeah, dude, I stared at them all the time. Like, I didn't know.
I
who
think the
she was.
conversation
So
afterwards
I
was
was in the
funny
clear.
too.
But it was just really funny. Like,
I was talking.
I don't remember what we talked about. If it wasn't Warhammer, 90% of the time, Chance was not interested.
Oh my God, he's better now. He's a lot better. But,
Yeah, or
oh my
metal.
God, that's all he'd ever talk about. I think the conversation afterwards was how Molly didn't have any, and that I had bigger tits than she did. And yeah.
I will neither
think you
confirm
have.
nor deny that.
No,
I've never seen Amalia.
She was so fugly. She was so fugly. You're trying to repress the memory.
She was absent. No, she was absent when I went to go watch your tournament, so she didn't show up. You were so happy, and then you started flirting with this one girl, and then it turns out that she had a boyfriend 2 hours away.
Were you that one tournament you were there? Did you see that one kid just go flying? That was pretty funny. Tiny little kid, and I got ejected for it.
Yeah,
that was. She ran into me, but she went flying. So like, oh, he must have sent her flying. No, she ran into me because she's not paying attention. It's when they kick you out of the game.
Wait, is ejected where you get out of the building?
Oh, for the entire game.
Like for a short period of time or the entire game?
Well,
no, I don't think it was that one.
Well,
I think it was a different time.
Clarify something. I seen a lot of girls flying.
You didn't get
derby,
kicked out.
Okay? Yeah, I have to clarify sometimes. Or what do you?
Yeah, there was one time you sent this little boy, and I watched him. He didn't tie his shoes, and you accidentally full on like hit him and he slid, and his shoe
That
came
was, I
off,
remember
and
that.
I
That was
died
pretty funny.
laughing, and they didn't count
I
you
think
out.
the last game, I think I told you about this. It's when I strained my back. This is the one of the few times I actually cried like in person. That's how much pain I was in.
Yeah.
But this one girl, I was jamming, and I got recycled, and I was coming back in from the penalty box, and she looks at me. She's a pretty big girl, not like fat, but she's just big boned, I guess, tall, and so she stops, and she's posting up. She wants to hit me, and so I'm like, oh, really? Cool. And so I hit her as hard as I can. She goes flying, and her face, oh my god, it was priceless. She was so shocked. And like they were trying to call a penalty on me, but because I hit her in the chest. Hey, it's a legal hitting zone. Derby is mostly a female sport. I can hit there. You joined. So their coach was like, he should be ejected, and the refs like, for what? He hit legally. I think this team was from like not Tulsa. I think they were from somewhere really redneck. So yeah, they were really rowdy, and okay, settle down.
A whole bunch of inbred. What was that? What was that one? There was one referee that Chance couldn't stop staring at. If you catch my drift. And then there was, yeah, no, top or bottom was the guy, and you and I couldn't stop laughing at that. Meanwhile, Chance was looking at women.
I actually found out about that.
He doesn't even work properly.
It didn't work for a period of time because he made it work a little bit too much. If you know what I mean. And so it works perfectly fine now. Also, I remember I just had a flashback from when we were both here spending the night. So you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and then he took a shower. Oh my!
When it was all three of us. Yeah.
So he starts,
and I dared him to come out. I dared him to come out, and he opens the door.
Before he's like, Liam, shut your eyes.
Violently, it's just, Liam, shut your eyes.
It. And I didn't think he was going to do it. So my eyes are wide open, and I see it, and I'm like, oh, dear. And I avert my eyes.
Meanwhile, I was smart and hid behind the guitar, so I only saw his torso, and I saw the bottom of his stomach moving.
Or something.
I was like, oh, he's actually doing it. Yeah, no, you were like, ah! And you were playing Halo at the time. It was pretty funny.
That was not cool, Chance. I don't know why you did that. When we get things organized, yeah. And we could.
He needs to be our next guest of honor. When we get things organized, we'll do one more episode of you and I, and then we'll start trying to bring guests in.
Well, that means we have to do questions, though.
Do interviews or whatever, random people.
Yeah, I just don't want to. It's so much work for me.
Oh, that's fine. We can do that easily. Oh, bro, I literally have a job, have this. I literally hang out with someone.
You mean my non-existent one?
That's something we should talk about. Love life, Ethan.
I'm actually doing, I guess, fair progress.
You got any? What about
last year? She was too busy to hang out or do anything, and she apologized. I'm like, no, it's fine. I understand. And then this year, she said she's not as busy, but she told me that she has like horse stuff every weekend. And I'm like, so you're still relatively busy? Yeah. And I'm like, shoot. And then I sent the gift of Quack with a Fox going, oh man, are you okay? Bronchiectasis, love it.
Oh yeah, mucus buildup in the lungs. It's absolutely great.
Oh yeah, so I forgot your coughing fit.
Anyways, continue.
Kind of made me forget about Oh yeah. So she was like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "Oh, it's fine."
You said something about how
I
you
sent
sent a
the
GIF.
GIF.
I don't
Chocolate
remember what
Fox
GIF.
Oh man, because I thought that would be appropriate. Because if you know me, you know I'm always trying to get a joke in. Because I'm a self-described comedian. Well, actually, no, I think I am. I don't say I am. People
Yeah.
do. Thanks.
I found someone who's worse with jokes than you are. Ethan, it's a podcast. I understand.
Don't worry, editing
There's
can
not
fix
much
that.
longer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, we can definitely do that. You can edit on this app, so. Huh? I only did it twice. 4 seconds ago.
Yeah, he did. I
Oh.
could hear him. It's really loud.
No, I did my breathing treatment like an hour ago.
So anyway, as I was saying,
It was really loud. It was the beginning of the podcast. It was great. Yeah, no. So it's gonna be like that
all
for
right,
just
Braden,
a
talk
few
about your
more
love
days,
life, because I know at
and
the very
then
beginning
we'll get
when
that
you
cleared
moved,
up and
you
situated.
had this one really annoying girl. I mean, you've had a lot of annoying girls that have been clingy to you, like that one girl in band, in Melissa. Oh,
Oh God.
no. The one who hurt her knee, quote unquote.
Wait, which one?
So when you were still in Melissa, you know that one band?
Oh, Larissa. Wait,
Yeah.
who? Oh, that one. Yeah, no. She was very clingy, and she hadn't even said a single sentence to me unless it was something about athletic training. And then it turns out that she liked me, and I was like, I don't feel the same way. But there was this really cute girl, gorgeous girl, not gonna lie. Her and I were talking, and she said that if she wasn't with this guy by the time that we went on a movie,
Ooh.
that she wouldn't mind going on a date with me. I was like, oof, okay. Then Corona hit. Corona hit, and there were setbacks, and that sucked. And then I moved, and then a week later, she had another boyfriend or got a boyfriend.
Oh
But
yeah.
they're
Her
going
boyfriend, by the
strong,
way,
so
is a
honestly, good
21-year-old
for them.
firefighter.
I'm over.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
Brush it under the rug.
Someone tells me it's illegal.
She has a tough life.
Okay.
Because you said when you first moved to, where is it?
I'm not.
I keep forgetting the.
I'm not doing bad, actually.
What now? Bangs.
Bangs.
When you lived to Bangs, you said that there's this, because your school is very, very small. You said. And you said there's this one girl that was also clingy, and you did not like her.
Oh, there were two that were like that. So no, there was only one.
I keep thinking you're from Brownwood.
Nobody liked her. She was from Brownwood, right? And
I still sometimes think of you.
That's where I thought we were moving, so that's what I told you we were moving, and then Bangs is like 10 miles away, and half the population, maybe a quarter of the population. There's like nothing here. She preferred to be called they.
It's fine, but I don't prefer that.
She was not binary, and that's okay with me. All right, I don't care if you're like gay.
And you're
like if you like dudes, that's fine. Like I'll still hang out with you as long as you're chill. But what I don't like is when you put me down for my views, or put me down and be hypocritical. So
Hmm.
for what this horse lady, that's what my friend group has nicknamed her because they didn't know her name. Horse lady, um, they would always be like, their name was not Rebecca, it was Beck. But like legally, her name is Rebecca. Um, but it was Miss Griffith. Her
Mr.
name was
Reyes,
Miss
put your
Griffin.
cards.
Mr. Reyes was Mr. Reyes. She never bothered.
Oh, wow.
She never bothered to learn anybody else's name. And
The
literally
thing.
the first day that I met her and talked to her, talked to it, talked to them, she wanted to date me, and I was like,
Oh,
no, I
she.
think I'm good. And she showed up at my work
Brayden,
of
it's okay.
place,
I trained you for this.
place of work. I was so terrified.
No. Asoto Gary works every time.
Yeah, I just got to suplex her. No, it's good. She no longer goes to Bangs, um, so I don't have to deal with her.
Lucky.
But no, I've been on a few dates with this one girl.
Oh
It's
boy,
it's going
that's no
strong,
bueno.
except for the fact that she hasn't told her mom. Her sister and her brother-in-law know about it, but she asked her sister, and her sister said,
Hmm.
if her mom doesn't know
I
me,
don't know who
she's
wouldn't approve it. You're
probably
like the
not gonna
most.
like
I mean,
approve.
to be fair, I told my
So
mom you were a horn dog when I first
it's
mentioned you as a joke, and then I don't know how it got brought up, but you were like, Mrs. Reimer, I swear I am not like this, and it was hilarious.
I don't know what we were talking about. I remember what you said. We were talking about something. I think it might I think it was that meme
As
where
who?
this guy goes, so I have
I'm
this new
talking some
plot for an anime.
serious.
This
Yeah.
one girl with huge
Yeah.
badonk. I think I think it was that meme we were talking about. And your mom turned around. I was like, Miss
Yeah.
Weimer, I promise I'm usually
So
not this way.
oh, my dad always comes off like you tick him off, but no,
You know,
he thinks
I always
real
felt like I ticked
he
off your
thinks you're a
dad and your
swell guy.
mom.
So
I don't know why.
you don't have to worry about him. He is pretty scary though. Not lie. He's pretty
I guess. That's good to hear. Ooh. Oh, there was that one
scary.
time where I rang your doorbell at like 5 o'clock. I didn't know how else to get your attention. So I walked up to his front door, rang the doorbell, then realized I was connected to his Wi Fi and texted him on Messenger. And he opens the door and calls me a dumbass. And oh my gosh, I spent the night that same evening,
Disc golf thing, yeah.
and his dad his dad called us because that was the first time I took him on to disc golf, and his dad called him in the middle of disc golf and was like, "Hey, uh, you need to apologize." Well, then later when we were hanging out, I heard footsteps come up the stairway, and I knew that it was not Liam. So, and then the man cave door opens, and your dad's like, "Did you apologize?"
My dad's
It
not
was
big,
like
but
really
he's
upset. And
scary
I was like,
looking.
"Yes, sir. He apologized." Oh man,
But he's
your dad may not be tall, and
yeah.
he may not be the thinnest, but you have to look. What's his nickname? The Mountain, the head like the strongest man in the world. Okay, to be fair though, he's 6'4", but if you look at him, he's not the thinnest. He has one of the
No,
biggest
no.
guts, but it's nothing but muscle. Now, I'm not saying your dad's like that.
They're just turkeys.
I wouldn't know, but your dad's calves are nothing but muscle.
He's a runner. He
and
ran
they're like,
marathons and he
yeah,
did
they're the size of turkeys.
triathlons with bikes and yeah. Also, he's a firefighter, so he's big strong.
Yeah, so your dad looks like he could literally take like the mountain
Yeah, but
and
he
just
looks
like
like he
throw
can.
him across the bar. Of course, obviously he
Yeah.
couldn't do that.
Uh,
But
what were we talking
your
about
dad, yeah,
before?
your
When I
dad's a
got to my
big
father? Oh
person
yeah.
for being a short person.
Oh, the horn dog thing. That's right. And then so you talk about your love life, quote unquote. Let's talk about mine. It's very short. Had one
Yeah.
girlfriend. She came on to me, which is something I kind of like. I mean, 'cause I'm very nervous around people in general. I have anxiety because, of course, or it's Kristen because I actually feel
unless their
comfortable with
name
Kristen. Because
is
Kristen
Chance
is
Brown
just
or
a
Braden Hewitt.
amped up version of me, but female. Crazy.
And
No, she has pronation, and I
no,
have
because you
pronation
have
as
the
well, but
ankle
hers is
issue
like
too.
more
I was
severe
gonna
than
say
mine.
her ankle's twisted, but you have that issue too. You told me.
Yeah, my knees are actually pretty bad too.
Yeah,
I have
yours is just like
one of these days. Let's
your
talk about
ankle's
injuries we've
twisted
had.
just a
I've had a
little.
lot of dislocations. My joints like to kind of pop in and out every so often. I don't know why. They're like, I'm gonna go this way. I don't like it. Never mind. Pops back in, and I'm like, owie. So yeah, I had one girlfriend, and she came on to me. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and she invited me to homecoming. That was
I've
fun.
never.
I was my usual self, weird and overly aggressive to other people. She went to a Christian school, and I was hearing she talked about this one guy who was like kind of, egotistical, and he came up to me and shook my hand, and I grabbed his hand, I squeezed it so hard, I pulled him, and said, "So I hear you're the one who's egotistical," and his face is like, "Look, man, I don't want to do this right now. Please don't hurt me." If you know me, I can be very scary sometimes because you don't know if I'm joking around or not. So anyway, so slowly and surely she starts to manipulate me because we're trying out for team captains, and there's a ranking system. It's not official, but it's kind of there. And I was a lieutenant, so the equivalent of like a veteran because I've been there ever since the. So I was actually with another team beforehand, and that team had a lot of drama and just not good things happening. There was like the coaches dating minors. It was really bad. And one of the coaches named Tim was like, "Screw this! I'm creating my own team." And I went from rebellion to Fallout, and I've been there ever since its creation. So I guess I get the title lieutenant because I've been there since its creation. So, and she was trying to use me to be captain, and she almost darn near exceeded too because she had befriended all the people. It's like a clique, and no one really liked me, which is kind of fair because I'm. Are you good? Can I? So
Yeah, no,
she
you
has
can
developed a
continue.
clique
Here, I'll
of
remove the
people,
mic.
basically everyone, and I'm kind of not good. I'm not easy to get along with sometimes because I am that seniority kind of guy who's like, hey, don't do this and this, or I give people, crap, which I do that for all people, including trainers, especially trainers, and they eventually get over it and then become buddies. Like ask Everett. Oh, well, you don't know who Everett is, but Braden does. I gave Everett so much crap when he first joined, and now we're like best friends. Well, not really best friends, but we're really good friends. Oh no, he still kind of is, but he's getting better.
Everett was
my
an
girlfriend.
actual horn dog.
She
So
manipulated me, abused me, like okay, well, and she was not smart. She was pretty dumb, and she thought she was just the smartest
Molly
ever.
is.
To give you an idea how not smart and dumb she was, I saved her life 3 separate times. One rock climbing. Oh, that reminds me of another story. So for my birthday, I'm gonna go on a quick tangent here. Please remember, I'm talking about the times I saved her before this. All right, tangent here. So for my birthday, um, She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you some
Yeah,
gifts." So
no, I got you.
before that, there was a tournament, and we were both cleaning up the locker room, and there was this roll of pre-wrap. Brady knows what that is. Ace. It was like black Ace pre-wrap. I'm like, "Oh, cool! I could use this." And I said as a joke, and I tossed it aside. And she made me a goodie bag for my birthday. And so we're at a rock climbing place, and I opened up the goodie bag. There's a stuffed animal that I named Clyde, which I fed to my dog after we broke up. Thor loved it so much he killed it, thankfully. A really crappy painting that I loved because, being the nice boyfriend that I am, I'm like, oh, it's great. It looks like shit. And this really weird keychain thing. And you know what else was in that bag? The pre-wrap. So this dirty, this disgusting, stinky piece of pre-wrap's been in a locker room, a disgusting locker room. And I think Brandon can attest to the smell of Derby. It didn't smell great. It smells horrible. It's absolutely putrid. I think it smells worse than football, to be honest. In this locker room for like a week. And she puts it in this goodie bag, and I'm like, haha, cool, thanks. Of course, I'm not, all like, haha, it's disgusting. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, because, I actually liked it, apparently. But during this, so now we'll talk about the time I saved her life during this same day. We're doing rock climbing, and she wants to do this because how it works is you have someone belaying you. Someone holds the rope, and they either give you slack or they tighten the rope according if you want to go up or down. But there was this one that you could do it, with one person. It's like a self-belay system. Well, she's like, oh, I'm going to do this. But she didn't hook it up right. And she was at the very top, and she fell. And it didn't it didn't it didn't pull tight. It was really slack. So I caught her. And she got mad at me. She's like, I didn't need you to do that. And I'm like, well, if I didn't, your head would be split open in 5 different places. But whatever. That's time number 1. The second time was, I think, like a month afterwards, and what she calls it, we were crossing this road where she lived in Denton, an hour away from it. And she didn't look both ways, and me being the smarty pants that I am, I looked both ways. I saw, holy crap, there's a car barreling down this road. So I yank her. I think it was by the collar of, like, she's wearing like a coat or some kind of jacket, and I yank her back as hard as I can. Car almost nearly hurts her, but she doesn't, I guess, see that. I don't know how you didn't see it. It's a giant car in front of you. I don't know. And she's like, why'd you do that? And I'm like, did you not just see that? She's like, what? And I'm like, okay, whatever, just go. That's the second time. The third time is the same exact place, but a different car. So I pull her back again. I'm like, how are you not seeing these cars? And so shortly after that, you want to know how she broke up with me? You want to know how she broke up with me? During a practice,
big shiny
in front of my whole team. And I think I had to try the hardest I could not to cry. And when I got outside, I just started bawling because I've never been in a relationship, and before this, I was very callous, and my heart wasn't really open, I guess, to say, because McKinney really screwed me over, emotionally and mentally. And so this was the first time I'd opened up myself, and she just crushed it. So I was really upset. Yeah, it was horrible. She still.
Yeah, well, it also wasn't. That also wasn't a good first
skinny.
relationship.
She was skinny enough, but it was definitely noticeable. She had a little bit of chub in the front. She was not good on the eye. She looked exactly like her dad. Her dad was like a pedophile. I swear to God. You seen her? Have you seen her dad? I think I showed you a picture of her dad. He looks like a straight up pedophile. He got a really long hairline. He's got buck teeth.
No, you have not.
And she's a spinning image of him. It's disgusting. I don't know why I ever went for that. Gay Jesus. Yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember Gay Jesus? So Gay Jesus was this one guy who literally looks like every picture of Jesus that you've seen. Imagine his face looking exactly like that, beard and everything, but his hair, his very long hair, was in ponytails, pigtails, but they were long enough to be ponytails.
Yeah, oh my God.
And he wore spandex, cheetah print spandex and a what was it? A crop
Yeah.
top,
Okay.
a cheetah crop top, and he was playing
All right,
roller
I'm gonna tell
derby.
one more story
So
about
we nicknamed him
my
Gay Jesus.
ex before we talk about something else.
He looked exactly like
so
every single picture you
She
can
stole
think
food from me, and during my birthday, again, it's the same day I went rock climbing. We were at, I think, Texas
Alrighty.
Roadhouse or some kind of restaurant. I think it was some kind of, it's like Texas Roadhouse, but like a steakhouse, something like that. And there was a comment. I know, but I was like, it was like something like that. I don't think it was Texas Roadhouse, but
Texas Roadhouse is a steakhouse.
Braden over here having a final death throw over here. All right, so we're at this place, and it's like for birthdays you get free cake, a free slice of cake, and so they bring out a meal with the cake, and so I have to eat my meal before I get to the cake. But as I'm eating my meal, she starts going for my food and my cake, and I'm like, "What do you do? No, that's mine. Leave that alone. Why are you eating my cake? I haven't even touched it yet." And she starts going for my food and my cake, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Stop! No, it's fine." So yeah, short story over. That's yeah, she liked to steal food.
Let's see. I'm overweight, and I don't think I've ever stolen any of your food. I think the only reason why I've ever eaten so much at your house is because you've literally forced it. No, you have forced it.
How about
like
this?
You were like, "Hey, do you want anything as a snack?" You were like, "What about goldfish? You want some?" I was like, "You know what? A bowl of goldfish doesn't seem too bad." And then you just kept piling it on, and you had like 6 sodas, 2 bowls of goldfish, package of chips, juice. You had like everything. Like you had crackers, then you had, and then that was wave one.
I like to eat, man.
Once we
I love eating.
Once we finished that,
I'm
an hour later, you would go back and get more. I'm like,
I wouldn't say that. Although I have actually,
which is funny because I'm the overweight one.
And today,
and
I actually have a funny story. You want to hear
nothing
that real
but
quick?
muscle.
So this morning, I go in at 6:30. I like a coach pickup. I open the door slightly, and I'm like, I point, saying, "Hey, can I come in?" He's like, "Yeah,
right, sure, go for it."
He's like, "Yeah, but Beso's coming in here soon, so you're gonna have to get out earlier than usual." I'm like, "All right, that's fine. I won't be here very long." So I start doing my routine, and one by one, baseball players start coming in and lining up against this wall, but they're not doing anything. And so 15 minutes later, I look up from what I'm doing, and there's like 10 of them, and they're all looking at me. And I'm like, I think they want me to get out. And so I awkwardly fumble around with like the clamps on the thing, and it's very loud because it got very quiet all of a sudden. And they're all looking at me. It was most of them. Now they're all looking at me, and I'm like, yep, they definitely want me to get out. So I very slowly and very carefully made my way out. I could just feel them watching me. It was hilarious. And then earlier today, before football started, I got here a little early. They were practicing on the dirt field. Did you see the new building that we got? We have a huge new. Oh my! It's almost complete, dude. It's awesome. When I get in there, I'll take some pictures.
The championship center,
huge. We have our own turf field by the high school now.
I haven't been there yet.
So our park is on the turf field, but baseball's on the grass field, the really poopy one.
Nice.
And baseball is doing God knows what over there, just dicking around or doing something with a trampoline and a ball of all things. But Coach Hammy, big Hammy, not little Hammy, is not here anymore. Coach Hamilton's little brother. Were you there? Were you there when he was there?
Who's little Hammy?
Oh my God, he does.
No.
So yeah,
I know
Coach Russian Badger.
I know Coach Hamilton, the one that looks like
and so
the Russian
I'm going
Badger,
over there,
but
and then I haven't even made it out of my truck yet. I hear Coy, and I can see my corner eye point to me, and everyone stops, looks at where he's pointing. He says, "Look, it's Ethan." And I'm like, "God damn it, shut up!" Because they love me, man. And earlier this year, I don't know if I told you. Schaefer, give me a hug.
Yeah, no. Remember we were there, and what's
Yeah,
his
they love
name?
me, man.
Schaefer. Schaefer. Yeah,
Yeah,
immediately
so
hugged you. I was
yeah,
like,
baseball,
this is
man.
nice.
I'm really looking forward to it, even though, it's gonna suck because big players are not very smart. That's why I did it, because they injure themselves, and I get to deal with it. Oh, you know what we should have? We should have one episode where it's just injuries we've had to deal with during training. Because I don't know if you have a lot, but I know you were there for some of the ones that I was around with or around for.
Ooh.
Like the ref, I know you were there for the ref, right? Yeah,
Let's see. I was there for the ref. I wanted to run onto the
yeah.
field, but I knew that I shouldn't have. And then coach was like, "Yeah, no, you should have.
Yeah. So
You should have
funny
kept your
thing is,
distance."
I was the
Because
first
I
one
was
to
really
like do anything
interested. I
about
was like,
AED, but I
his
didn't give it
heart
to Caitlin in time. I told the story many
stopped.
times.
I was like,
But I'll tell it one more time because the podcast has not heard it. And you know what? Oh, maybe I should say it for the. Yeah, it really
yeah.
was.
So I'll give the backstory.
Oh yeah, it was
The day
awesome.
was going really great. Like before the game started, Fox News was there, and yeah, I got like they literally talked to me, and I had a full on conversation, and because I was talking to them, everyone started to clout chase except Ethan. Ethan and I were talking to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone else was like, "Fox is here. Why don't I get a picture with them?" I got a picture with them, and then like
Oh
throughout the
Lord.
game, they would talk to me and talk to me about like audio, video, and all that. And then it was fourth quarter,
I'm a trainer,
and
first of
all I
all.
know is that I looked up, and everyone was like yelling at me to get on my knees. I was like, "Huh?"
And this is where I come in.
I looked down at the field, and
So,
he collapsed.
it's fourth quarter,
I
and
was
I'm
like,
pretty tired. So, like, because football
"Oh."
games,
So,
they
yeah,
tucker
this
you
is
out.
where the story
And
transfers.
my legs were hurting pretty bad, and I was just like, well, hopefully this gets over soon. And in the middle of that thought, I stopped and I'm like, why is it so quiet all of a sudden? And then I'm like, wait, something has to be wrong. So I look at the field. Sure enough, there's a huddle of people, and I see 10 little legs sticking out, and I see Mendez waving over, mouthing the words AED. He's probably yelling them, but we couldn't hear him because it's Mendez, and he's really far away, and he's also deaf, so he probably doesn't know he's not yelling. Anyway, and so I immediately realize he's saying AED, and I look over at Caitlin, and she's like confused, and I guess she had the squelch or like the volume off on her radio, but she was not getting it, and so I use Usain Bolt as fast as I can towards her, and as soon as I get to her, I say AED, but at the same time, she hears it on the radio, and so she grabs it, she runs out, I run out after there, and I kind of just sit there wondering what I can do, and the thing I did that was pretty funny, I think, was during this, me and Mendez were just like geeking out about medicine during this, while Parker was doing chest compressions. Yeah, and I gave her some crap for it because I was like, because after
Yeah,
getting my hamburger lessons, I'm
Caitlin
like, oh,
felt
you
pretty
didn't know what you're
bad
doing.
because she
No,
didn't have the
those business
walkie-talkie
radios
close
are
to her.
notoriously they're known for just being all kinds of whack because it's a business radio. They try to add all the fancy gizmos that they don't need on there, even though most people don't know how to use a radio like that. So yeah, and then
So
and then
pretty much
Caitlin
the
got an
city
award
had
for
called
running
us
on
out
AED,
and was
even
like,
though I was the
"Hey,
first
you
one
did a
to
great
run,
job,"
which is fine.
and we were in the newspaper and all
And
that. It was
to
pretty
be
fun.
honest, I don't do it to get recognition. I do it just because it's fun. I like helping people. But well, actually,
Yeah,
so yeah,
I like watching people die.
yeah. Like you give us time to remember all because there's so many. This pop up out of your
Oh,
memory.
we'll leave injuries for another episode.
Oh, I have a lot of injuries. I have a lot, especially from baseball. The first baseball year I did.
Not for me.
Oh my
I
god,
have
young
a
legs alone.
few.
3 like separate injuries, like count. because the young
Yeah.
bloods, they're hotheads. Although Damon actually mellowed out pretty well. He's actually really nice right now, believe it or not.
Definitely.
No, 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah, but you know who did not change?
There's no way.
Taylor. Oh no.
Huh.
Taylor Smith. You remember him?
Wonder what happened.
He's exactly the same.
His older brother.
Yeah, he's Potty Mouth.
Oh, Shorty.
Oh, Tater Tot.
Oh my lord. What was his nickname?
He's tiny. He's tiny.
No. There was another one. Tater Tot.
Yeah.
He's like 5 foot
He's
even.
very small.
I guess he's a
I think,
sophomore
is Caitlin
now.
as tall as he is, or a little bit smaller? I think she's a little smaller.
He's very
She
small.
Is?
No, she's taller.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's like 5'1", 5'2". Oh no, she's 4'11", so she would be smaller.
Anything else you want to talk about? Oh.
Oh God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because this is kind of
How dare you?
just beginner. So, like I said, I apologize for being sick. It was not planned. In fact, I was supposed to work tonight. I worked last night. And I work tomorrow night. Or at least I'm going to try.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What should next episode be? What do you think?
This is going to be great. We're going to try and do this.
So, what about the two options? So, I'd say...
I can put a poll
I would say
on my
injuries, but
Instagram.
baseball
We can figure that out.
like just things that happened.
So... Well, see, that's the thing. We want to do what the people want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them, create like a tournament kind of, and do first episode, second episode, or if they're like questions, then we can split them into
so obviously you're
2
better at this
episodes,
than me,
1
so,
episode,
yeah,
you know, that kind of stuff.
Me, I'm not a social media fanatic. In fact, I barely use Facebook, which is the only one I have.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find someone who can do it. I'm trying to find a digital artist.
Right.
Because I have the logo created for my band. I just need that logo digitalized. That way I can put it on hoodies.
Or no, wait.
And all that.
I don't know how to I don't know how you would sponsor your band and that. I've never done sponsor.
Honestly,
look,
Ethan, we may need a
music,
pianist.
and I'm mediocre at that. You just play?
Neither do we. He reads tabs. I read
fiddle around
YouTube.
until I like, that sounded cool.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, alrighty, guys.
People watch this.
Thank you for whoever, tuned in. Thank you for whoever tuned in to our very first podcast. Sorry it was so long. It was just get to know us, get to know what we're planning for. For a short recap, we have a YouTube channel, Twice as Odd. We plan on continuing this.
Still.
Hopefully, we'll be roommates in the future. Hopefully. And we plan on doing judo and doing stuff like airsoft, just fun things here and there, just to get that that on YouTube and have fun. Obviously, we'll have actual jobs and hopefully be able to live. And if we get popular on YouTube, then, hey, who knows? It might be a full-time job.
I'll just message
you never know.
I had an idea.
Well, then here, you text me that idea, and I'll talk about it. Put it on Instagram or whatever. See if people enjoy it. I also plan on in the future having a gaming channel as well. So so that way I would, get not twice the amount of money, but kind of like twice the amount of recognition. Hopefully that would help. Well, I guess 3 times because I would have the band. So maybe that would help my band and this channel, and then this channel will help my band and my gaming channel, and then hopefully my band would help my gaming channel and my in this channel. And so let's see here, and so hopefully
No.
if all goes well. Have you heard of you? No, you don't listen to rap. For everyone who does listen to that kind of stuff, Baby No Money, he's a Twitch streamer. So he plays video games in his free time. I kind of just want to have that
Yeah.
availability and that freedom to do whatever I want. Kind of,
I mean, you're
and
gonna have
still
to
like
work hard
live
to do that
comfortably.
first, though.
That's like a dream, I guess. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a grind, but I mean, look at me. My first day
Yeah,
at work,
I'm actually
like
getting a
physical
job pretty
work,
soon
was
at
the
Walmart.
day after I turned 16.
After my birthday, so yeah, I'm gonna go from hot wings to stocking shelves. Is it bad? Is stocking shelves hard?
Good luck. Two people that I work with that used to work at Walmart. They said they hated it
That's
because it
work,
was
man.
so
Work
big,
is
so you
hard.
had to do a whole bunch of
It's not
stuff.
easy.
I would honestly, I would love it if I was in the technology department or outdoors department. If I wasn't in that, I don't think I would enjoy
Right.
it. So, because honestly, I could spend like 5 hours learning the parts of a printer and tell you what you don't need. But you tell me
Yo, what's
which
the difference
produce
between
to
a
stock.
lemon and a lime, man?
What's
I
a
can't tell.
banana?
Lemon. I've
Which
been
one's sour?
laughing.
Which one's sweet? They're both sour. What? All right, man. Well,
Yeah.
I think this will conclude our very first podcast. I think this went fairly well. I
Hey,
think
man,
we
I have
could have
ADHD.
shortened
This
it
is
down
hard.
and not got
Especially
carried
after
away.
medication's worn off.
Yeah, no, this is fine. We'll get it again. This is the first one.
Yeah.
We'll get it more organized, more planned. We'll invite more people. Get it out there. I can put this on YouTube, Spotify.
I'd
Anything
like
else,
to
we can put
get
ads
a
in there and
decent following
start
before we
making
do
money off
ads.
of this.
Because
So that's
I think that's just the best way to go.
yeah, I understand that. Well,
Podcast numero
all right.
uno.
I guess this concludes our episode. Good night, guys. Or good morning, whenever you're watching this. Have a good day or have a good